It was a quiet Sunday afternoon in a small Georgia town when 68-year-old Mrs. Loretta Williams stepped out to pick up her prescription from the local pharmacy. Known by everyone in her neighborhood as Miss Loretta, she was kind, soft-spoken, and respected for raising 3 children who had all served their country in one way or another. But that calm afternoon took a dark turn when 2 local police officers, responding to a mistaken report of a suspicious person, confronted her outside the pharmacy. Loretta, confused but polite, tried to explain that she lived just 2 blocks away. The officers, however, grew aggressive, demanding her ID and shouting at her when her hands trembled too much to find it. Before she could utter another word, one officer grabbed her by the arm and shoved her to the ground. The second one struck her with a baton as she cried out in pain, pleading for them to stop. The bystanders watched in horror, recording with their phones but too afraid to intervene. The old woman's purse spilled open, revealing her prescription slip and her ID, proof of her innocence. Bleeding and humiliated, Loretta managed to pull her phone from her pocket. With trembling fingers, she dialed a number she rarely used except in emergencies. When the call connected, her weak voice whispered, "Baby, they hurt me." On the other end, her son, Staff Sergeant Marcus Williams, a decorated Delta Force operator stationed at Fort Bragg, froze in silence. He was trained to keep calm under fire, but this was different. This was his mother. Within hours, Marcus was on the road, his military leave approved. Without hesitation, once his commander learned what had happened. By the time Marcus arrived in town, news of the incident had already spread online. The video was viral, millions of views and growing outrage. The police department scrambled to issue a statement, calling it a misunderstanding. But when Marcus stepped into the precinct, his calm, commanding presence filled the room. The same officers who had brutalized his mother now stood pale and trembling as he placed a hand on his badge, saying, "You picked the wrong woman." Marcus didn't raise his voice or his fists. Instead, he let the truth and the law speak. Within days, both officers were suspended, then charged. The town that once ignored injustice now rallied behind Miss Loretta, and her son's quiet strength became a symbol of what real power looks like: discipline, justice, and unshakable love for family.